Have you ever wondered what true power really means? Is it the ability to summon storms, to wield a sword with deadly precision, or perhaps something far greater, something unseen yet unyielding? Long ago, in a secluded village veiled by an enchanted forest, lived three brothers, Kaito, Akira, and Taro. Though they shared the same blood, their souls bore different paths, each carved by their own beliefs and desires. Kaito, the eldest, commanded magic with unrivaled skill. He could bend the winds to his will, summon torrents of fire, and even whisper life back into the dying. His gift made him arrogant, for he believed power was the ultimate force, the hand that ruled fate itself. Akira, the middle brother, was a warrior of unmatched prowess. His sword struck with the speed of lightning, and his arrows never wavered from their target. He had never known defeat and scoffed at the weak, convinced that strength alone dictated a man's worth. Then there was Taro, the youngest. Unlike his brothers, he had no magic, no battle-hardened strength. Instead, he possessed a quiet kindness, the patience to listen, and the willingness to serve. He spent his days helping the villagers, tending to the sick, comforting the grieving, and mending what others had cast aside. Though his hands bore no weapons, they held a power neither of his brothers understood. One fateful day, a mysterious old monk arrived in the village. Draped in robes woven from the fabric of time, he carried an air of wisdom that made even the trees lean in to listen. He seated himself beneath an ancient oak and called for the brothers. "Come forth, young ones." His voice resonated like the murmur of the wind. "You seek power, but do you truly know what it is?" Curiosity flared in Kaito's sharp eyes. Akira crossed his arms, a smirk playing on his lips. Taro simply listened. The monk reached into his satchel and withdrew 3 gifts. To Kaito, he handed a scroll wrapped in golden thread. This scroll holds the knowledge of magic beyond measure. Wield it wisely, for power unchained can lead to ruin. To Akira, he presented a quiver of gleaming enchanted arrows. These arrows shall never miss their mark, but let your heart, not your pride, guide your aim. And finally to Taro, he gave a delicate, glowing flower, its petals radiating a soft, ethereal light. Taro blinked in confusion. "How is this a gift?" he asked, turning the fragile bloom in his hands. The monk smiled, his ancient eyes gleaming. "This flower holds the power of kindness, a force mightier than any spell or sword." Kaito scoffed. "Magic can reshape the world, strength can conquer it. But kindness, what can it possibly achieve?" The monk only chuckled. "That, my child, you must discover for yourself." And with that, he vanished, leaving the brothers alone with their gifts. Eager to test their newfound power, Kaito and Akira indulged in reckless feats. Kaito, intoxicated by the endless possibilities of his magic, conjured storms so fierce that they shattered rooftops and sent trees crashing to the ground. He laughed, reveling in his might, oblivious to the fear in the villagers' eyes. Akira, filled with newfound invincibility, sought out challengers. He bested every warrior, leaving a trail of bruised egos and broken spirits. He grew restless, his thirst for victory overshadowing the reasons he fought in the first place. Meanwhile, Taro held on to his flower, uncertain. While his brothers flaunted their power, he continued his quiet ways, mending torn clothes, helping a lost child find their mother, sitting beside an elderly woman who had no one left. Whenever he placed the flower near those in sorrow, its glow would pulse gently, as if cradling them in warmth. One evening, a grief-stricken mother came to Taro. Her only son had fallen ill, his body frail, his spirit withering. No magic nor blade could cure him, and hope had fled from her heart. Without hesitation, Taro knelt beside the boy and placed the glowing flower upon his chest. Its light shimmered, casting a gentle radiance throughout the dimly lit home. The boy's breathing steadied. His pain eased. A tear slipped from the mother's eye as she clasped Taro's hands. "You have given me hope," she whispered. "You have given me strength." Word of Taro's deed spread, not for his power, but for his presence. The villagers sought him, not for miracles, not for protection, but for the kindness that eased their burdens. In time, the flower's glow never faded, as if nourished by the compassion that surrounded it. One stormy night, that the monk returned, his gaze settling upon the 3 brothers. "Kaito," he said, "power without wisdom is destruction. Do you see now?" Kaito lowered his head, the memory of his storm-racked village still heavy on his conscience. "I was blinded by my own arrogance," he admitted. "Power is nothing if it does not serve." The monk turned to Akira. "And you, Akira, strength without purpose is hollow." Akira exhaled, his hands clenching into fists. I sought to prove myself, but in doing so I only stood alone. Finally, the monk smiled at Taro. And you, child, have found the power that endures. Taro looked down at the flower in his hands, its glow as steady as ever. I didn't understand at first, he murmured. But kindness, it lingers, it heals, and it shapes the world in ways neither magic nor steel ever could. The monk nodded. True power is not in the storms you summon nor the battles you win. It is in the hearts you touch and the lives you change. From that day forward, the three brothers, once divided by their beliefs, stood united in purpose. Kaito wielded his magic with wisdom, Akira fought only to protect, and Taro's flower became a beacon of hope for all who sought solace. And so, the legend of the three brothers was passed down through the ages, a testament to the truth that power is not measured by what you can take, but by what you can give. For even in the darkest of times, a single act of kindness can light the way.